So I have noticed for some reason that by lifting the pipe a little bit, that I can see that it's leaking right there, which is really bizarre for a few reasons. But the biggest one is that this pipe here only goes to the ensuite, and the ensuite is not being used. It hasn't been used in months, years. Unless the toilet's leaking, there should not be any water in this pipe. And from here, you'll see that it goes down. I'm trying to keep it square, so you can see it goes down. So therefore, if it's leaking here, the question is why? Considering that would mean that it has to be a plug down there for the water to be backing up to here. So that is kind of baffling. So I found one leak here, and I brought some water down to wash this spot so I can then put on a external patch. I'm hoping we'll fix it. It's only leaking a little bit, but any water down here is not a good thing because it makes the ground soft. So I'm hoping that I can solve that problem. And I'll move over to the other spot and I'll show you some more. So we're underneath the house, and over there is where the pipe leaves the house and goes down to the street. And so that's the main line. And over here is another fun spot. You can see all the pipes in here are all kind of connecting at one spot. So somehow over here is another wet spot, which I'll go to in a moment. But my other problem is that as I'm lifting the house, I have to, at some point, cut this pipe and add in an insert. And then over time, keep on adjusting that insert so that as I lift the house, it will keep on not cracking, is a theory. So far, this has been lifted 3 inches over here. I've just finished on my 4th lift, 3/4 of an inch per lift, so that's 3 inches, which actually makes a pretty big difference on here. So over here has been lifted 3 inches, and I have not cut the pipe yet. So there is some play in the pipe, which is good, but I bet the pipe's also under some tension. I think I measured, I need 8 inches before I can actually even do this, which would actually be a problem. That's the problem I have yet to figure out. I'm hoping that I can find a secondary solution I can use first and then move on to my long-term solution. But let's see if it's wet over here. I kind of cleaned this out a couple days ago, hoping it dries out a bit so I can see where the problem is. All right, so we're over here, moving a little closer. So over here is where my leak is that I found, and I've already shown the dark spot there where leak is. And over here is all nice and dry, kind of, and then it gets darker. And so the darkness would be wet. The question is it wet because this is lower and therefore the moisture is coming from someplace else and therefore that's why it's here? Or is there another leak over here that I have to find? So I'm hoping that today I would be able to come under here and see one spot that was really wet, and then the rest would be more dry, and I can move on from there. But I don't know. I mentioned that I have a pipe that's plugged, and I think the problem is right here. You can see that they've done a hack and put this little flexible piece in, and I think this is where sediment's settling right here and getting plugged. But before I get to that problem, I have to get over to the side of the house and deal with it there. So getting there. So yeah, welcome to my fun project. I'm trying not to have to cut any pipe in this section here, because if I do, I basically have to replace the entire thing, because they're all very closely tied together. So you know, if one is replaced, pretty much the entire thing has to be replaced. So hoping to not have that headache.